Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from Oaklawn Park here on Saturday. It is the 14th of March 2020. It's Rebel Day from Oaklawn, and I'm going to look at all the stakes races on the program. But before I get on to that, remember to please follow me on Twitter at Horse Racing Kid 5 for more selections for race courses around the world. Let's get to the stakes action here on Oaklawn's Rebel Day card. We'll be looking at races 8, 9, and the future 10th race. Let's get to it. The 8th race, it's the Essex Handicap purse, $350,000. Race for 4-year-olds and upwards. We have a field of 7 horses entered to go the distance of ground here of 1,700 meters, or the distance of ground of a mile and 1/16th on the Oaklawn main track. 1,700 meters, mile 1/16th main track here in the Essex. The top selection, I'm going to go to the outside barrier to the 7-horse Pioneer Spirit. We'll go 7-5-2-4 in the superfecta. 7-5-2-4 super. Top selection, 7-horse Pioneer Spirit. 7-horse by Malibu Moon. Roberto Dinodoro trains when David Cohen gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing came a month ago on the 17th of February here at Oaklawn. Mile 16th in the Grade 3 Razorback Handicap, and the horse finished 4th by 4.5 lengths. He kind of stalked all the way around the race course, and he just couldn't get there late. Kind of hit the wall late, actually. Wasn't his day to win, but in this race, there's a real lack of speed, I think. If, David Cohen uses the speed today and just goes on the front end and just goes as fast as he can, and hopefully he can go wire to wire. I think that's gonna be his best chance to win here. 2 back here in the 5th season here at Oaklawn on opening day, 1 mile on a good main track, and the horse won by head. He stalked, he got the lead, and he just went off by a bunch in the stretch. He nearly got to bank it, nearly got to him, but this horse ran a very game race, earning a 97 buyer, and then before then the Tenacious Stakes at the Fairgrounds, mile 70 on the slop. He won by head, and he took the speed all the way around, and he got the job done. A little bit wide, but he got the job done there, beating Blended Citizen and Lone Sailor, who all 3 of them, the 1, 2, 3, all won extra down. Blended Citizen, by the way, is running today in the Kentucky Cup Classic at Turfway. Since coming to the Diodoro barn, this horse has been pretty perfect. He's lost once, but that wasn't a half bad loss. Won the 5th season, won the Tenacious. His most recent forms have been very good. He loves running here at Oaklawn, 98 buyer average here. I'm going to take him here. Multi-race scenario, if you want to play an all-stakes pick 3, I think you have to also use the 5-horse Bravazzo, the veteran here, making his 4th start off the break. He ran in the Clark first off the break, which I thought was the wrong move. He came back to run in the 5th season where he finished 5th. I thought he had a decent race in the Razorback a few weeks ago. If he could show a form like he did, say, in the Clark of 2018 or even the Travers of 2018, I think he can win here at 8-1. He's your wise guy horse. He's been training a lot better, it looks like, since the last race. Like I said, definitely use him on the multis, but to recount my selection now for the 8th from Oaklawn, it's the Essex Handicap. Let's take the 7-horse Pioneer Spirit as top selection. We'll go 7-5-2-4 in the superfecta, 7-5 in this pick 3. Now let's get to the 9th race from Oaklawn, which is the Azeri Stakes. Grade 2 purse, $350,000. Race for Fliz Mayors, 4-year-olds and upwards. 7 horses are entered to go the distance of ground here of 1,700 meters, or the distance of ground of mile 16th on the main track. 1,700 meters, mile 16th main track, and to show the diagram, it just gives me a second to look down my notes. Just bear with me. The top selection here, we're going to go with the number 2 horse, My Lady's Curlin. We'll go 2-1-5-4 in the superfecta, 2-1-5-4 super. Top selection to 2 horse, My Lady's Curlin. The 5-year-old mare by Curlin here. Brad Cox trains. Joe Rosario gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing was she digressed, I think. Definitely digressed in the Houston's Ladies Classic, Sam Houston, mile 16th on the 26th of January. She finished 4th by length there. She sat back at the pack most of the race in a small group of horses. She had a competitive stretch run. It was an all-out finish, exciting race, but this horse, she just never really showed up. She didn't have her A race. She's come back here to Oaklawn where she's run better in the past, training a lot better. I'm going to give her another shot. 2 backs ran the Fall City Handicap at Churchill, mile 8th on the 28th of November, and she ran her best race, I thought. She winning by 2 1/4 lengths. She sat back early, had a great turn of foot, quickening up nicely. 91 buyer. That was a great run there. And then before then, the Chuluki at Churchill, 1 mile on the 2nd of November. Not a one-turn mile kind of horse, but she finished second by 3/4 lengths. She stalked. She had the lead. Sally's Curling got this horse late, but like I said, I don't think she's a one-turn mile. And then before then, Lotus Grove at at Churchill, mile 16. She finished third by 1/4 lengths there. She was setting back early. She was closing up well. If the race was mile and eighth, she probably would have been close for a victory there. Looking over her races over the summer, she ran great. She won the Lady Jacqueline at Thistle, okay, against lesser quality horses, but she still won that nicely. Won at Indiana very nicely, and she won the Dew Point Distaff at Pimlico in May very nicely. She had good races last winter here at Oaklawn, training well, 4-1. I'm going to take her, and I'm going to single her in this all stakes pick 3. So to recap my selection now for the 9th from Oaklawn, it's the grade 2 Azhari Stakes. Let's take the 2 horse, My Lady's Curlin. We'll go 2-1-5-4 in the superfecta, single the 2 in this pick 3. Let's get to the feature 10th race now from Oaklawn, which is the Rebel Stakes, grade 2, purse $1 million, race for 3-year-olds here. Field of 8 horses entered to go the distance of ground of 1,700 meters, or the distance of ground of 1 mile and 1/16 on the main track. 1,700 meters, 1 mile 1/16 main track here in the Rebel, or the Barney Rebel. Top selection. I'm gonna go with the number 1 horse Nadal. We'll go 1-3-4-6 in the superfecta. 1-3-4-6 super. Top selection. The 1 horse Nadal. The 3-year-old colt by Blame. Bob Baffert trains 1. Joe Rosario gets the mount. They only bought this horse for $700,000, which is a good price, I think. But blinkers off here for the first time. His most recent outing, first time winners, first time stakes quality horses came in the grade 2 San Vicente at Santa Anita, 7 furlongs on 9th of February, and he won by 3/4 length. Not as easy as the race before his debut, but he was facing so much tougher horses. You had a Breeze Cup Juvenile winner in there, but he won by 3/4 length. He was with the pace setters early on, but when he had the turn of foot, he got the job done, quickening up nicely. Very good run, but like I said, not as impressive as his maiden victory. Main special weight Santa Anita, 6.5 furlongs, 19th of January. He won by 3 3/4 lengths there, and he sat back early, but he slowly moved his way up, and he just took off clearly. That was a very good run. He's been training well. First time around 2's turn shouldn't be a problem. I wouldn't surprise me if you see him towards the front of the track, front of the on the front end. Even if especially if the track is going to be playing, is going to be a little moisture in the track. 5-2. I like him a lot. Let's take him here. Multi-race scenario. I think the 3-horse basin you have to use also. 3-year colt by Liam's Map. Steve Asmussen trains 1. Javier Castellano comes in for the mount. The horse hasn't been seen since the 2nd of September at Saratoga, 7 furlongs in the grade 1 Hopeful, which he won by 6.5 lengths. He stalked and he just kept going. That was a very good victory on a very sloppy track. 2 back in the main special weight for 90 at Saratoga, 6 furlongs. He won by 1/4 length. Excuse me, I can't speak. But again, he was a little bit wide. He beat 3 Technique, who's actually run this one today, very easily. And it doesn't get better than that. Big question with him is, can he run here first off a long break? I'm going to expect him he can, because with the Liam's Map, I love the horse's pedigree here. Liam's Map with the Johannesburg Dam. I think this horse could run for days. He's been training nicely at the fairgrounds and here at Oaklawn. Should handle a wet going, 3-1. Let's take him also on the multi-race. And I think you also have to use the 4-horse Silver Prospector. 3-year colt by Declaration of War. Steve Asmussen trains this one. Ricardo Santana Jr. gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing came in the Southwest, which the horse won by length. She sat back early, got the lead, and just put on a show. That was a very impressive victory. 2 back in the Smarty Jones. This horse was just had a trouble trip, and also I don't know if he was liking the trouble that day. And then before that, won the Kentucky Jockey Club very nicely on the slop. Another horse, since they took him to dirt, his buyer numbers, he's been a completely different horse. Buyer numbers have gone up. At 7-2, like I said, definitely use him on the multi-race also. But to recap my selection now for the 10th from Oaklawn, it's the grade 2 Rebel. Let's take the 1 horse Nadal as a top selection. We'll go 1-3-4-6 in the superfecta. We'll go 1-3-4 in the all stakes pick 3. So good luck to all. Please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKit5. Good luck, everybody.